Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you visiting for the first time, I'm Naley and I'm currently in the process of self-publishing my first novel. It's a universal fact that everyone has an opinion. Sometimes we agree with those opinions, and other times we wish people would take their opinions and shove them up their asses. While not all opinions are fact nor welcomed, we can't deny that there are a few that hold some basis, no matter how much we disagree. So today's video is a writing tag for unpopular opinions. I'm super excited because I created this with the writing community in mind, and as a way for us to have fun and get to know one another. You may be surprised by what we have in common, or, not. There are 8 questions in all, so let's get into it. Which is harder to write, the first sentence or the last? And why? For me, writing the last sentence is actually the hardest. Before writing, I've thought of the story so much that jumping into it isn't difficult because I already know where I'm going. But by the time I get to the end, I'm already curious, did I do a good job? Does this make sense? Does everything, close up? And usually by the time I write that last sentence, I've second-guessed myself so many times that I've changed it infinitely. And it's so important to me because of the fact that it makes me question, did I do a good job? And fingers crossed, I did. So which is better, traditional publishing or self-publishing, and why? I'm probably going to be biased with this. I'd have to say it's self-publishing only because of the fact that you get to cut out all the rejections. Not that there's anything wrong with rejections, as they do help you grow and become a better writer. But when it comes to self-publishing, you have more control over your book. At least in my opinion, you do. I'd rather have final say from everything from the plot all the way down to the cover design than have someone change my story just to make it more marketable. Not to say that I won't take input from my editor or my beta readers or my critique partner, but the whole point of writing my story was to write my story. So even if it doesn't become a bestseller, at least someone in the world will like it. Which do you find easier to write, fiction or nonfiction, and why? Fiction is so much easier to write than nonfiction. I'm constantly daydreaming and making things up like every day, so doing anything related to nonfiction is boring or feels like it has to follow in a strict set of rules. So for me, I'd write fiction over nonfiction any day. What book trope do you love to write and wish others wrote more of? My favorite tropes are love triangles and fairy tale retellings. So I haven't started writing these tropes yet, though I can't wait to get into them. While I totally get that there's like a bunch out there for both, I feel that love triangles could take a whole different dynamic, as well as some of the formulas used to do fairy tale retellings. So I definitely wish other authors would write more of them, just in new ways. The novel I'm self-publishing has neither, but the first draft that I finished for Last NaNoWriMo has a little bit of both. So hopefully I did a good job. I'll have to pass it off to my beta readers to find out. So what popular book on writing didn't cut it for you? This one's obviously difficult to answer because every book touches on different things, and obviously all of them are good in their own way. But for me, it was Writer's Bootcamp, a 30-day crash course to writing written by Federman. I'll put the link down below in case you're interested in looking into it. But I picked it up at Barnes & Noble thinking it would, help me out. I just finished my first draft for my first novel, but overall it was more about establishing habit. At least that's what I got from it. And by that point, I had already done so on my own, so it felt like useless information. Not that it just was to me. I'm sure that if I ever fall out of my habit for whatever reason, I can go back to it and maybe find it more useful or helpful in some way. Are writers introverts or extroverts? I believe writers are extroverts. I see like that stereotype that we don't talk to people and that we hide in the back of libraries and cafes, but I don't think that's true. They tell us to write what we know, and I've seen a lot of writers writing from experience. Granted, we're not all fighting dragons, but we're definitely putting our most vulnerable selves out there and going out of our way to share our stories with everyone. But don't get me wrong, we can be extroverts and not like talking to people. What's more important, an education in writing or a passion in writing? I'd have to say passion. I think passion gets you to where you want to be, and it also encourages you to get an education, and it makes the writing more enjoyable and less mechanical. There are a lot of people that I know who've gone to school for something that they actually weren't passionate about. They just thought it would make quick money or make them look smart, and at the end of the day, did nothing with that degree. And then I know other people who never went to school for what they're working in, but worked hard every day and taught themselves in ways better than a formal education. This isn't to knock if you have a background in writing. I just hope you have a passion in it too. Some people aren't lucky enough to have both. And the final question, is writer's block real or fake, and why? Some people might hate me after this one, but I definitely think it's fake. Before you burn me at the stake, understand that I view writer's block as kind of like a sensory overload where you overwhelm yourself or when doubt starts to creep in. And there are ways around this, and I know for some people it's easier, for others it's harder, but I definitely believe that writer's block is all in our heads. It's why one author can write 40 books in a year, with Slow Your Roll James Patterson. person. And for others, it takes years before they can ever write another novel, like Harper Lee. Which is why when I feel we conquer this fear, we can meet somewhere in the middle. And there you have it, my unpopular opinions when it comes to writing. Remember, none of what I said is fact. You are welcome to disagree. And I'm open to discussion, so don't take my or anyone else's responses to heart. But like my video if I made a friend out of you, or leave a black heart in the comments if we're now rivals. I want to know your opinions. So I'm tagging Maha Mahmood and Fred Charles. Shout out to them for always being down to talk about writing in some way. You can answer via blog post, video, or whatever you're most comfortable with. Get the questions in the description below, and don't forget to tag me in your responses. Subscribe to my channel for more writing fun and for updates on the progress of my novel. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time.